So, the first 2 years were kind of rough. I remember the building I was in, it was inexpensive. Um, I remember there was a garage, and like, it was a underground garage, and every time the gate went up, someone came in, it made this really loud rackety sound. And like, I had my MA doing vitals, and she's like, they would have to stop until somebody closed it so we could actually hear, blood pressures. So, but it really was bootstrapped. I mean, the walls, we had wires coming out. We were trying to put the internet in. I mean, it was really, it was really shoddy. I still have pictures, and I kind of laugh at it, but it kind of reminds me, and I'm not comparing myself, but like when you ever see Jeff Bezos, there's a picture of him when he was starting Amazon.com, and there's a little sign Amazon, and it's like he looks like he's in his dining room table with a bunch of books. It's funny that how that was, but we started it. I had my from my other company, my assistant came over to work on it. I converted my billing manager to my office manager, and these people, God bless them, they still are still with me for this day, and they really helped run this clinic. I was doing some telemedicine just to kind of keep money coming in, because I didn't want to put in a lot of my own investments, and I wanted to just make it just kind of run itself. Of course, I was seeing I was seeing all of the patients that when they were coming in, and eventually came to a time where, like, if we really wanted to grow, we needed to be in an area where people felt that they had more income to support some of the things that we wanted to do, these cash-based services. So we moved, a few miles east in a university town, and I hired a nurse who would be handling, a lot of the weight loss patients. And she came from a dermatology background. She was also an esthetician, so we were able to add more services like facials. And that's where we turned more towards a med spa type of clinic. And then, I never really wanted to get into aesthetics, but she convinced me, this is where it was going. And I saw for myself, because we would have these patients who were awesome. They got off their medications. They were able to lose weight because of that. And now they're feeling good. They want to, look good. And they would then go get Botox. So they would go for the weight loss appointments. And then they would tell me, oh, I'm got to go. I'm late for my Botox appointment, which was, across town, down the street or whatever. And it was like, well, we can probably start doing this here. And it was all about, people are busy, and so let's see how many services that we can bring in house that kind of matches with what we want to our message to be for our clinic. And so she convinced me. We took a class on Botox. I got trained on it, and when we were there, we were in this class of 20. We met up with a physician's assistant who was looking to, learn her skills. And she was very passionate about aesthetics, but she was working in the emergency room. She wanted to reduce her hours in the ER, and was wondering if I would take a chance with her. And, we hit it off pretty well. It just so happens, though, that I met her husband at the same time, who happened to be a world-class MMA fighter. So I really couldn't say no. But, this, I'm not going to name drop, but he's pretty well known. He's actually set to fight possibly Conor McGregor, which is a pretty big name in the sport. But, that was her passion, was aesthetics. And so we brought her in, started her, part-time as we slowly started to grow. And she started developing a really great clientele. She's amazing at aesthetics, or is amazing at aesthetics. Even our Allergan rep says, this is definitely for her. Unfortunately, they did move away he started his own gym back in Nashville, and so they moved there, and she has her own aesthetic practice and doing extremely well. But I thank her for and my nurse for helping really start up that aesthetics part of the business, and now, 10 years later, it is probably makes the majority of our revenue, about 60% of it, and so we are happy to be celebrating our 10th year from the clinic, and we're continuing to expand. And, just some lessons that I can share with you was, I was able to stumble. So, the first 2 years, I was probably, too egotistical and said, I really did well in the online business world. I'll do fine, in the offline, in the brick and mortar world, and it wasn't. I was trying to apply some online strategies that simply didn't work. I remember, signing up for like a $4,000. If you know what Valpaks are, where we have these coupons, and with a whole bunch of other different businesses in there, and I think I got one appointment from it, and he didn't even want to talk about the service that we were selling. He wanted talk about something else. So, it was a $4,000 loss. And so, strategies that helped me was we didn't, number one is we didn't confine ourselves to like one particular niche, because I didn't really know what it was. To be honest, I wanted to do like more physicals and do more augment at the beginning. But then if we called ourselves like the occupational medicine clinic, it would be pretty hard to transition into a medical spa, a few years later. Our company's executive medical is pretty like, that could be anything. So I think that was one thing that we did that was right at the beginning. Two, it kind of grew organically, and I really focused on what the patients wanted, not what I wanted. And if we were able to serve them and then serve them well, then business flowed from that, and that's how we were able to grow, from that. And three is, we do a really good job, I think, in terms of staff. Knock on wood, the same people who started with me are mostly still here. Yeah, we've had some MAs who we've lost, but in general, we're in comparison to others. I've had most of my people have been with me for at least 5 years or more, and we're continuing to grow. Other things too is I kept costs low. I didn't buy my first like really expensive machine until last year, and it was just kind of understanding the market and understanding what the market wanted. And where I see some clients that I consult with was they're buying the laser the first day or even before they open it, and not understanding what their community wants. And so we're still making mistakes as we go on, but as we refine things, we understand our marketing, we understand our metrics. It's important to know, what the, and they say it's cliche, what our lifetime value is of our patient. We've had patients who've been with us since day one. We've had patients that maybe they'll show up twice a year. We have some patients, of course, who leave us. And so, but you want to know like why they left. What are some things? So doing surveys, asking questions, kind of like, and just listening to the staff. It's really just important for me to like, when we have our staff meetings, to listen to telling like what's going on. What are you hearing? What are some things? What are some services that they're wanting that we're not providing? What are some services they're not using that maybe we will stop spending money on it or discontinuing? So those are the things that you need to ask. But that's how I got started. If that kind of resonates with you, basically the principles that I share with you, you can apply that to any type of practice that you have. So hopefully you found that useful. If you're interested in starting a cash-based practice or may have a practice right now, whether it be a direct pay practice, med spa, whatever that is, and need some help, drop me a line and we'll see what we can do to help you. But in the end, for me, just like as I go to this business mastermind, I have mentors, I have people who can help me and, no business is an island. I'm always seeking help from others. And if you're in that situation, you're not alone. There's other people who have figured it out for you, whether it be me or someone else. Be happy to help out. And as always, guys, keep moving forward.